And welcome back to the hottest marriage show in the world. It's I, John D. and Kanika, a.k.a. And Too Much Podcast. Good morning, my love. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm really happy where I am. After the walk this morning, I felt like we grew again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that a lot of things that we share with each other are like thoughts that you don't ever say out loud.
Yeah.
And I think the more that we do that, the easier it is to not offend. You know, even when we don't have intentions of offending, sometimes it can come out in a way where we don't give each other that grace.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why they sound like that?
Look, I felt like one thing I hate, I like going out on the walks and then we just talk about stuff, but I hate when we're talking about stuff and then I feel like the sound is echoing and everybody in the neighborhood could probably hear what we're saying. I feel like I'm so embarrassed, but I need to finish this conversation.
I remember the other day you said, it wasn't the other day, but you said, that's how we be sounding. When I was like listening to
my God.
I was like, there's no way we sound like that.
It is. It was these two little old ladies walking down the street when I say they were the loudest thing ever.
And I'm telling you, I think that either I am that unaware or you are like, you don't understand that we're not talking that loud. Because those ladies, like you didn't even know, you couldn't see them. And
you couldn't. So I was like when we be walking past people's houses, do we just echo into their, living room or whatever, bedroom?
Well, I do know if it's anybody, it's probably me. And that's what you're more concerned with than anything. So I guess that was one of those, I need you to reevaluate.
No, even earlier today, I was like, and then I had to bring it down. Like I do think about that. I try to think about, am I being loud, and kind of tone myself down.
That's it's a great characteristic to have for a great communicator. Because to me, I'm like, you're very cognizant of your presentation.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like some people don't care. They was like, I need to get this out, and then that's where the offense come in because they didn't prepare. And like, if you're worried about how loud you're going to be, you're already worried about whoever's looking around or anybody may take it the wrong way.
Well, it was funny. I was listening to 50 Cent talk about how he talked to Bruce Willis one time. I guess they were in a movie together. And he said he noticed they were all at like dinner. And whenever someone directed something to Bruce Willis to talk, he talked really low and really quiet. And so when 50 Cent got along with him, he was like, why do you do that? He said, because it makes people stop and listen. He said, if you're quiet, then everybody kind of leans in and they want to know what you're talking about. I've seen that happen before where people are like real hype and then you talk to someone in that moment and they're like really quiet and it calms other people down because they want to know what you have to say.
Yeah.
So, I could see how that could be considered a trait for a good communicator to be able to take that tone down or whatever.
Yeah, and you definitely neutralize the other idea of the person being loud.
Yeah.
Like they're talking low and you just...
Yeah. Well, this other dude, he was talking about that. He said, because then it makes it seem like they're being irrational.
Yeah.
Because you're calm and you're looking like, I'm not the problem. Like, it seems like you have an issue. And then it really, like, either that's really going to calm someone down so that they can get to the point where they're on the level with you, or it's going to make some people even more angry.
Well, I think depending on how good the communicator is, the person is doing that, what is their intent? Are they trying to like be sarcastic and smart at the same time? Are they really? Because you can feel that. It's like, I'm really just talking slow because I'm trying to bring you down with me because I can see you're escalating and we can't get anywhere. That doesn't sound like this person should get even louder.
Well, and then that was the other thing that same person was saying, and if someone insults you, like they get real out of whack and now they're just at the part where they're trying to insult you or do some slick talk or whatever. He was like, just ask them to repeat what they said because they should be embarrassed to repeat it and other people have to listen to it. Wait, what did you say again? Could you say that again? Like I said, your mama. Well, that might not work because in the culture.
Well, it just depends on your environment.
It does. But in like a professional or even just adult interactions.
But you got to be able to say it without insinuating like I heard that and I'm trying to get you. So you got to be really cold at that.
Yeah, you do. So that's something to practice. But it'd be like, I'm sorry, could you repeat that again? You said what? Or
I know the way that you just said that sound like it almost sounded like you didn't hear it, but then the what was like, I got your ass.
Look, because if you really gonna own that you said some slick, like, and it, not everybody. Then it's like you have to own the fact that you were being petty or childish or whatever. And so I don't know if people really want to do that, but
it takes a mature person not to be petty.
Yeah. So
and it takes a really good communicator to be petty and nobody recognize it.
That's very true.
Yeah, for sure.
So, there's a few skills that need to be mastered there, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we've just finished the first week of January. And one thing that people talked about a lot the last few weeks of December was the year it just went away so fast. Mm-hmm. And I really want to I know you're always talking about what you're doing every day and but I want to not feel like I lost 2024 in December. Like, where did it all go? I don't have any New Year's resolutions. However, I don't want to see December of this year and say, where did it all go, and not be able to account for it. And so I was thinking about what could make me slow down as I'm going for as much as I can control this year. And there have been a few questions that have come to mind, but I was really curious to ask. I guess, I will break it into two things. So first, how do you want to feel this year?
To be honest, the last 3 or 4 years, my feeling has been, it's been a peace. And like now I want to have some excitement. I think I really found out what makes me happy after evaluating how much time I've lost in trying to make up with just trying to become a better human being.
Okay.
I feel like I know how to do that. And now I feel like I want some exciting moments I want some feelings that I haven't experienced before. And I feel like it's coming. And, just listening to you, I was thinking like some excitement that I plan on seeing this year is that I've seen you change more towards your health than I've ever seen. And then I think this is the least amount I've ever talked about your health. And now I see you. So to me, I feel like you still like that I'm still on the path of trying to be healthy. And I think that since you like me more, it's easier for you to like consider your health. So I think that would make me excited. So I'm looking at, just because I just your energy, it just sounds more like, you know what, I've been tripping. Let me go on and get on it. To me, it feels like you've talked more about it than ever. Before, it sounded like I know better, but now it sounds like, let me just go on and like get this ball started. So I'm looking for excitement. Also, thinking about last year, how I felt, that was the greatest I ever felt. And like this year, I was like, golly, I've grown so much.
So if you have 3 words to describe your feelings from last year, what emotions were most prominent last year?
Peace, understanding, and intentions. Like, to me, I feel like my intentions created the peace and understanding.
Okay.
Like me practicing like specific things allowed me to watch like me be more involved in my family.
Okay. So as a rough draft for this year, what are the 3 words that you want to represent this year, your feelings and how you approach it?
Excitement. I want to mature more. Okay. Like I feel like if I mature more in the way that I think, my decision making won't just be right. They will be the best decision you were supposed to make. So to me, I feel like the way that we move together, you and I feel so confident in the things that we decide on. Okay. I feel like we're not going to be like, we shouldn't have done that one. Yeah, and if absolutely. We did, it's like we had to go through the experience to know, like, but overall, I like that. So peace, excitement,
Maturity,
and I want to say fun, but that's kind of like in the excitement part, I think.
Okay.
But I do want some new emotions. I want some new feelings, like some like, oh my gosh, like it's like I understand what's happening. Like, you know, okay, I was asking for this.
Right.
You know,
right.
so whatever that looks like.
Okay. So then I'm going to ask you the second one, because you're always talking about communication. You're always talking about relationships. What is one relationship that you want to work on this year?
Just you and me.
Or more importantly, who do you want to build a different relationship
with? Oh, just
with?
me and you. Like, and when I think about it, and I know this might be selfish, but I feel like nobody sees me enough for me to consider that relationship I need to work on. Mm-hmm. Like my kids, I can say I want a better one, but I feel like just this morning I was like, am I being the best father I can be? I'm like, what can I do more? And I'm like, am I engulfed in the idea that I need to just fill up my day with my kids? But I was like, what about me, right? So I was like, my wife doesn't seem to be complaining. The kids seem like they're in a good place. I'm sure, I'm like, I could always be better in areas. But as far as me,
I know you've really, really focused on your relationships at home.
That's what I'm saying. I feel
like we're going in the direction that you want us to go in. So I understand continued growth. But there's building a different relationship.
You know, well, I guess my mother, if she really gets here, before she leaves the earth, I would like to know that we did more. Because where we are, like if she died today, I'm cool. Mm-hmm. But I know that this isn't the relationship that I would have ever wanted. I always envision more. Yeah. So I feel like if she gets here, I would love to, like, this is my biggest fear, that she gets here and I don't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll just go around and sit around and, like, do you just sit around and just wait till something breaks? You know, like, but to me, I feel like we can't establish a relationship like I want unless she's here. So I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I would love for she and I would love to learn more about so many things, not just what she thinks, but like Korean culture, her views on what it looks like now, like just, you know, stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. That's the only consideration as of right now, because I feel like when you consider somebody's, like, that's somebody's time, that's your time, and it's got to be meaningful. It's got to be worth it. Right. You know, so the safe way for me is just inside my house with you, because I know. But my mother.
Already okay. Because I'm like, you know, sometimes it's you don't step outside of the house, and when I say that, I mean you focus so much on the people in the home, which is awesome, and it's like what a wife would want. You know what I'm saying, from her partner. But sometimes there are relationships that impact our home from the outside. And so I was wondering what your thoughts were. Like, where does your mind go first? So your mom, definitely. I can't wait till she gets here.
For sure.
But I'm trying my best. I'll be trying to light pressure.
You know what's crazy is that she puts more pressure than I even consider.
I'll be like, apply light pressure.
It is so crazy. So what 3 words for you describes the 2023?
Oh, I wasn't anticipating answering these questions yet. Rushed. I felt like, even though I do my best to drag my feet and make things kind of drag along, I feel like I can't look back on the year and really tell you any moments in which I was able to really be in a moment and enjoy it. Like, oh my God, I loved when we did this. I loved this part of, or I don't have that. And part of it, I'm afraid because of the accident. I had a car accident. I don't know if we ever talked about that this year, and I got a concussion. It doesn't mess with my memory because my memory was already horrible. That took up so much of me for the second half of the year, like the different things to recover and, you know, driving here to go to this appointment and that appointment and what have you. It just really took away from me. So I kind of feel like there's that rushed part. I guess I feel really unaccomplished.
You feel that way?
Yeah, I do. I feel that way because I feel like my time and the things I'd hoped to do and enjoy, it was all kind of like the potential of me taking up the time for myself was taken away. So it kind of feels like I don't really know if there's anything that I loved about the year. So there's that part. And then it's nothing that I feel like I just felt like I've been a slave to this event and having to go to this therapy appointment, this evaluation. And then like even struggling with work to learn workarounds now for doing things that used to be second nature for me. I've taken a real shot to my ego in a lot of ways. The third word, I don't know. I don't have a feeling. You know, I think that I don't, and that's my thing about this year. That's why I'm like, I want to be able to have words to describe this year because I don't feel like I had that for myself last year. And you know, you always feel like, oh, I got more time. But when I got to July and everything turned upside down for a second, it was just like, you know, and then I lost the last month. The first 2 weeks of December, I had COVID. And I've never had COVID. Everybody in this house has had it. Now, there was a thought that I was patient zero at one point, but I got it the first week of December. When I say I've never felt so horrible physically and also like the household. Like I know certain things are already handled, but I was like thinking about stuff I wanted to clean. I was thinking about things I wanted to do and I couldn't do it because I was in so much pain. I love that everybody came to the bedroom door to talk to me, but it was really hard. Right after I recovered from that, our nieces came for the last 2 weeks of the year or for a break. And we were running everywhere. I mean, it's very different when you have a 10 and a 12-year-old in the house versus your teenagers.
Yeah.
Especially like we've talked before about Darius moving into the house and it changes the atmosphere a little bit because our kids are a little different than Darius. But I feel like when his sisters came, he felt more balanced because there were people who he grew up with. These are his people. But I also felt like it was great because our kids got to really get some cousin energy. Because Darius is like their cousin brother. So it's not the same. So when the girls came, you know, it was all kinds of stuff going on. Us managing a young kid again, somebody who's very, very busy. I'll say that. Very intelligent, but very, very busy. These last 2 weeks just kind of flew past me where I felt like we were just constantly like, and then if I wasn't doing that, I was working, even though you were off. I really feel like I have nothing to reflect on other than what was put upon me. The girls weren't put upon me, but my other situations were. And so now that's why coming into this year, I feel like last year I said I want to be present. And I have been more present when it comes to you and I. I've worked on being more present with the kids, but my goal, I want to feel excitement this year too. I want to have something memorable, and it doesn't have to be like we went on a trip to whatever. It has to be something where I can say, this was one of the greatest things this year. If you ask me what was one of the greatest things this year, I can't really think of it. So that's hard for me. So that's why I was thinking of these questions, because I want to be able to say that there are some things that, what do you want to feel? Sometimes I'm one of those people who says, I don't feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to feel something this year. So this year, I think I want to feel excitement. I want to make memories that I can recall and say, this was one of the greatest things. And I feel like I'm setting it up now.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this morning you asked me, what did you say? Is it better to...
Do you get more fulfillment from your own personal accomplishments or the success of your family?
Mm-hmm. I'm not so much worried about my own personal accomplishments. One of the things I really, really want to focus on is putting Day, Dallas, and Darius in front of the things that they want to do.
Yeah.
That's going to make me feel like we found some activities for Day and Darius this summer. We already had one for Dallas that we're preparing for his application, but I just so happened to come across something that fits Day and Darius to a T, and we're doing the orientation next week. And there's some other things coming up. Like your conversation just recently with a friend who's over architecture at a wonderful HBCU, and it was funny. You were recounting the conversation, and Dallas was like, wow, you have a lot of connections, Father. And you were like, no, you do. Like, and even the person you were talking to was like, he doesn't know, what position he's in. And it's those things that I want to be a part of. This year, if I can feel like they are any further, any closer to the things they're excited about or they want to do, that's what I want. I want memories that I can say, yes, that's, I remember this and it was a great moment. I want emotions. Like you said, you want to feel more emotions. For somebody who didn't really feel much of anything this year, it just felt like I was just running. I want to feel all of the emotions, but most importantly, I want to put them in front of the things that make them excited. And if at the end of this year, at the end of 2024, if Day, Dallas, and Darius are even more on fire for the things that they enjoy, that is going to be something that's like going to fill my heart up. But yeah, so that's me.
So I'm just making an analysis. This is what I think is going to happen. This is what I've seen just listening to you. I think I'm building trust in you where there are certain things that's being removed from you that you didn't have the ability to experience before. Like, I think that you were on this, I need to make sure everything is in order. And like, I think maybe like it was moving fast because that's what you used to. And I think what you want this year will be more so like I can relax a little where I can focus on these other things and enjoy. Because I do believe that relationships have to complement each other. And even though we've complimented each other, I haven't complimented you enough for you to feel safe to put yourself first.
I don't even understand the idea of putting myself first.
That's what my point is. So my point is I continue to get better as your compliment. There are going to be certain things where you're going to feel like you don't have to like focus on all the other things. You'll feel more responsible and trust that I'll be able to remove that off your plate where you can be like, okay, I got some free time right here. This isn't different. And then you can focus it on yourself. So at least that's my intention from what I heard.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody you want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
No.
No doubt. Well, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. I don't really care about resolutions as much as the practice of trying to make those resolutions happen. So I don't want to tell you guys that I hope you have a good year, because I think that's just like everybody wants you to have a good year. But I do want you to do more than you did last year. If you can just improve on what you did last year, this year's already going to be better. But you have to know what you did last year to improve. And once you get in the habit of improving each year, you'll get a result that most people won't see because they don't understand that the fruits you reap is from the work you actually do. And some people are just living day to day. So put in that work so you can get the fruits you deserve. Y'all make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you can't control. GATA. Get after that action, or that action will get after you. Be great on purpose. Boom.